through a sieve continue downward into the next milling machine, and so on. By the last machine, whatever's still not fully processed gets vacuumed up to the top to begin the cycle again. Mills make white flour by grinding only the wheat kernel's soft inner part, called the endosperm. This requires removing the bran, the kernel's hard skin, and the germ, its seed. That separation begins as soon as the wheat kernels enter the very first milling machine. Rollers break off the germ and bran and crush the endosperm into pieces called semolina. Sifting removes the germ and loose bran pieces, but much of the semolina remains covered in bran particles. So between each milling station is a purifier, a machine that uses controlled air currents to float the lighter bran above the heavier semolina, enabling sieves to separate the two components. The semolina goes through repeated grind, sift, and purify cycles until it's completely clean. Only then can it be finely ground into flour. The ground semolina passes through a series of sieves. This ensures it doesn't leave the final milling machine until it's been ground to just the right powdery texture. There are three main types of white wheat flour. Bread flour has high protein, enabling dough to rise well and bake to a firm texture. Cake flour has low protein, which produces a crumbly texture. All-purpose flour is the compromise. Its medium protein content makes it suitable for baking both bread and cakes. By the end of production, the flour mill has produced three distinct products: bran, used for animal feed and baking; white wheat flour, of course; and wheat germ for the health food market. Leftover byproducts go into livestock feed. In the mill's quality control lab, they bake the product for which the flour is designed, then examine its appearance, texture, and taste. They use specialized equipment to calculate the volume, the density, the protein, and moisture contents. With baked goods destined for retail sale, like these cookies, it's especially important to measure the dimensions. If the dough overexpands, the cookies won't fit in their package. Just prior to packaging, the mill enriches its white flour with vitamins and minerals. This replaces the vitamins and minerals lost when the milling process removed the bran and germ. They shake the bags to settle the flour. Bagged flour in various sizes goes out to supermarkets, restaurants, and commercial bakeries, while tanker trucks ship bulk flour to large industrial bakeries. The first reclining armchair was introduced by the La-Z-Boy Company in 1928. Today, many companies make motion furniture, as the industry calls it, and the term recliner no longer refers to just armchairs. You can buy reclining couches and even reclining sectionals. This factory makes reclining chairs and couches in both fabric and leather. The furniture construction is the same regardless of the material. However, leather upholstering requires a few extra steps. They begin by inspecting the hide, marking serious defects with one color of tape and minor imperfections with another. A computer-programmed cutting machine scans and registers the tape markings, then automatically cuts and discards the defective parts. It cuts upholstery pieces for hidden areas, such as the undersides of seat cushions, from the imperfect leather, and visible parts from the flawless leather. Once all the pieces are cut, they sew together the back, seat, and arms. Then they stuff the arms and back. They position the open end against a blowing machine that fills it with polyester fiber. Workers weigh each part before and after filling. This ensures they've blown in the right amount of fiber and also that both arms have equal filling. Next, they'll fill the seat with foam. A compression machine squeezes it, then a worker sprays on silicone lubricant. This enables the seat cover to slide on easily. Foam is made of a chemical mixture, the formulation of which determines the density. The higher the density, the higher the quality. Elsewhere in the factory, meanwhile, they cut the frame components from plywood using a computer-guided bandsaw. These long pieces will form the seat frame. A three-seater couch has 3 separate frames, enabling each seat to recline individually. A machine lines one side of each piece with steel spring clips. A worker then dabs the ends in glue and assembles the pieces, reinforcing them with long glue-coated staples. As the staples enter the wood, friction-generated heat melts the glue. The glue then dries, securing the staples. Now comes the step known as springing the seat. They hook 5 thick steel springs into the spring clips, then hammer the clips closed to lock the springs in place. They connect the springs with a plastic-covered wire so that when you sit on the seat, all the springs react in unison. They assemble the frame pieces for the arm using glue and glue-coated staples again, plus a few screws at strategic points. They screw the arm to the seat and begin upholstering. First, a layer of felt to cushion the springs, then wood, cardboard, and foam to form the rounded shape of the armrest. After lubricating with silicone spray, they slip on the leather and staple it into place. They upholster the backrest and sides in the same manner. The reclining mechanism arrives at the factory with the sides pre-assembled. Workers install the connecting pieces, then a bushing that reduces the noise the mechanism makes, then a spring to control the recline speed. They screw the mechanism to the seat frame, then hook up the operating handle and test it out. To cover the back of the furniture, they attach metal tacking strips to the leather